Hello, my name is Ivy, and welcome to a brand new series called Health is Wealth. Basically, I'm going to talk about healthy living that you can incorporate in your day to day activities. And before we begin, let's start off with a medical disclaimer. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below so you will always get the latest updates and notifications. Hello, my name is Ivy, and for today's episode, we're going to talk about diabetes in the Filipino American community. As you know, Asian Americans are the fastest growing minorities here in the United States. And amongst all the Asian American ethnicities, it is the Filipino American community that has the highest number for diabetes. We're basically number one when it comes to diabetes here in the United States. Why is that? Rice is a cultural staple in the Filipino American community. Sometimes we eat rice 3 times a day. I'm guilty of this. When I was growing up in the Philippines, I ate rice 3 times a day. When I first came to the United States, I would eat rice 3 times a day. I've learned not to eat rice 3 times a day. I limit it to 1 to 2 times a day. But nevertheless, I'm not asking you to change your cultural heritage. For today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to incorporate rice in your daily diet and still manage your diabetes or still prevent diabetes in itself. So diabetes, hypertension or high blood pressure, and hypercholesterolemia, which is high cholesterol, or hyperlipidemia, which is high lipid panel. These three are the most common modifiable risk factors for stroke and TIA. The other risk factors that are non-modifiable, meaning you cannot change it, are age. We cannot change our age. If you can, and if you do find the cure to change aging or reverse aging, please drop a comment down below, or better yet, send me an email so we can work something out, get rich together. The other risk factor that is non-modifiable is gender. We cannot change our gender. I know there are some people watching who have opinions on that. We're just gonna not make this a political video. Okay, so diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol are the three most common modifiable, something you can change, risk factors for stroke and/or TIA. Diabetes in itself can also cause other comorbidities, but I kind of want to focus on stroke and TIA. I'm not saying that the other comorbidities are not important. I just want to focus on that for now. It is my channel. Okay, so in the West Coast, when we see a Filipino in the ER, urgent care, in the hospital, in the clinic, and maybe this is applicable in the West Coast, in the East Coast too, but in the West Coast, when a Filipino comes in for possible stroke, possible TIA, we usually ask the question, did you just get back from the motherland, right, from the Philippines? And I noticed that when a Filipino comes back from a trip back home to the Philippines, within 1 or 2 weeks, they usually have signs and symptoms of a TIA or a stroke. So since I want to cover signs and symptoms of TIA or stroke, let's cover it right now. It's the FAST acronym, right? Face, arm, speech, and time. So those are the FAST acronyms to detect stroke or TIA. But there are also other signs and symptoms of stroke, such as numbness, right? Sudden loss of vision, anything sudden dizziness, sudden loss of hearing. That can be a stroke as well. But today's episode is about diabetes in the Filipino American community and how we can adapt the way we eat rice every day. So rice, white rice, and I'm guilty of this. I love white rice. I can eat brown rice, but let's be honest, white rice is just better. So when you eat rice, chances are it's gonna spike up your blood sugar, right? That's why Filipino Americans and Asian Americans are prone to diabetes. So there's a trick, I'm gonna teach you that trick today, that you can still eat rice and not spike up your diabetes. So what am I talking about? So what's my trick that I can eat rice every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, and still not be diabetic, not spike up my blood sugar? This, I don't know if you can see it, is the answer to all the problems, right? It's quinoa. Quinoa is a grain. Technically, it's a pseudo grain. But I'm going to teach you how to make rice with quinoa because the quinoa has a low glycemic index, meaning once you digest it, it's not going to spike up your blood sugar. You can do this recipe. You don't have to be diabetic to do this recipe. I'm not a diabetic. And there's no judgment if you're diabetic. I'm just saying that anyone can do this, okay? And it's very flavorful. So what I do is, so I have with me my rice cooker. I'm gonna show you my rice cooker. I have a small rice cooker. When I bought this, it comes with a cup. I'm gonna teach you how to use it. I mean, this is super easy. I know Filipinos have the finger method in making rice. I know how to do it. My mom taught me how to do it, but in our household, we use cup, meaning we use rice, this cup to make rice. So the ratio is 1:1. So what you do is you get 1 cup of white rice, and this is where I store my white rice. I have a very small kitchen, guys. Okay, so we're gonna get 1 cup of white rice, and I buy jasmine rice. Whatever ratio you use or how you make other kinds of white rice, that's fine too. And I'm gonna put it here. And like any good Asian, you should wash your rice. So, okay, we're gonna wash the rice and I'll be right back. So now that we've washed the rice, I'm gonna get 1 cup of quinoa. This is where I store my quinoa. And sometimes I buy the multicolored quinoa. It just looks interesting. You know, you want to spice it up sometimes. I know Filipinos are loyal, but you can spice it up sometimes. So I get 1 cup of quinoa. It doesn't have to be full. And I put it here. Okay. You don't have to wash that. Now, this is what you do. Now, do you remember that you put 1 cup of white rice? So for 1 cup of white rice, you put 1 cup of water. It doesn't have to be hot water as long as it's, clean water. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna put 1 cup of water. Now, if you put 1 cup of quinoa, you need to put 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, I have with me low sodium chicken broth. So it is true that chicken broth has sodium. Sodium is not bad for your diet. It's when you have a high sodium diet, a high salt diet, that it becomes unhealthy. So I have the 30% less sodium chicken broth. Just for the record, you can eat salt. You just can't eat too much salt, okay? So this is brand new. I'm gonna open it. And so for 1 cup of quinoa, you put 2 cups, for 1 cup of quinoa, you put 2 cups of chicken broth. And that's 2. And then we're gonna close the lid. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So it's gonna look like this, and you just wanna mix it up. Sometimes when I'm really tired, I don't even and I need to make this, I don't even mix it up, but you can mix it up like this. So after mixing it up, we're gonna cover it, and this is so easy. I'm just gonna move my boxes here. I'm gonna move the boxes a little bit more. I'm gonna plug in my rice cooker. I'm gonna set it to cook. And voila! That is a very healthy version of eating white rice. Again, I'm not saying you can't eat rice. In my workplace, I meet a lot of Filipinos, and they get a little upset when you caution them of not eating rice. You can eat rice, and this is the kind of rice that you can eat several times in a day. It's just a healthier way that you can incorporate this in your cultural staple. Yeah, you can do, I really like the chicken broth. The reason why I put chicken broth, you don't need chicken broth. You can just put, for 1 cup of quinoa, you can put 2 cups of water. It's just that when I tried it with just water, so then that would be 3 cups, right? But if when I tried it with just plain water, quinoa, it has a nutty flavor. It is a seed, that's why it's pseudo grain. But it has a nutty flavor, and I wasn't used to eating it like that. So I would put it with chicken broth, which tastes really good. The 1 cup of white rice in this mixture, it just makes you feel better, because then you still get the taste of the rice. I tried this with all Filipino dishes. You don't even know. You don't even notice that it's only 1 cup of white rice. So that's it for today's episode. This is a brand new series called Health is Wealth. And I just want to share tips and suggestions on healthy living and a healthy lifestyle. And I'm going to show you what the final product looks like. And there you go, voila, it looks really good. If you liked today's episode, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Have a nice day, guys.